Come on. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Confessions of Being Fabulous with Priscilla Hawks, where we live, we learn, we grow. I am in the bed today. I'm not really in the bed, but I'm broadcasting from the bed. It's a Saturday, so normally I'm doing all of this when my son is at school, and he happens to be home right now. And there is noise out there, and so I'm kind of just hiding in here. Um, and in full transparency, as soon as this video is over, I need to take a quick nap because I have to go on a date tonight, and I would like to be rested. But anyway, today's video will be brief. Today, I may actually keep it 10 minutes or less. Every video I say I want to do that, and with the exception of maybe two, just hasn't happened. But today's video, I intend to be brief. So I wanted to talk about super quick recap because I really want you to go back to all of the videos. But today is day 14. I'm sorry, I didn't start off correctly. Today is day 14 of 31 days of gratitude. Welcome. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. If you're making your way back, welcome back. And I just thank you for being here and for tuning in at all, because you could be somewhere else. But we went through so far 13 days of gratitude. We went through everything from talking about people we're grateful for, day 2, things that we're grateful for. A couple of days after that, we had 2 or 3 days, I think, of talking about gratitude blockers and why you may actually find yourself unable to be oh, excuse me. I don't know where this is coming from, but excuse me. Why you may actually find yourself in a space where you can't express gratitude. So we talked about that for a few days. After gratitude blockers, we had a holiday party. Well, we were at a holiday party, and we set up what was called the gratitude corner. And we talked to different people at the party, and they told us what they were grateful for. Yours truly, I sang a few songs because I sing as well. And we had the kids join in for some Christmas songs. And then after that, we came back from that party, and we had a few days of talking about gratitude tools that allow you to get in the spirit of gratitude, even if you're not really feeling it. Because sometimes you just need a little help. And as I was talking earlier today, especially around the holidays, there are things to be grateful for, but unfortunately, some people, they're not holiday people. It's hard to get into the spirit of the holidays because they've lost loved ones. They may have lost a job. They may have, just not had the best year, professionally speaking, or in their personal lives, may have stuff going on with kids. So the holidays is a bit of a mixed bag. So we provided you with some tools for a few days in a row and talked about those tools being able to kind of help you get in the spirit of expressing gratitude. And if you're tuning in for the first time, the whole point of this challenge is to experience gratitude as a lifestyle, for you to experience gratitude as a lifestyle on a regular basis and not just like a one-time thing. So the benefit of this is you will, start to feel better. You will start to be more productive. You will start to think better thoughts. When you think better thoughts, you take better action. You receive better and experience better results. It's a whole assembly line of things that can happen. Okay, he wanted to make an appearance. Say hello. Hi. All right, now let me finish up, please. We can't talk right this second. I'm recording. Okay, give me a few minutes. Thank you. And so that's the super brief recap. So you're gonna have to go back and see the video and all of that good stuff for yourself. I wanted to just kind of, give a snapshot because I recognize people haven't been here. We do have a few people. Hello, JHL, Russian musician, Chris Johnson. Hey, Toprak01. Hey, thank you guys for being here. Greetings from Turkey, Asude. Hello. Thanks for being here. So we're talking about gratitude. I gave a brief recap of days 1 through 13. Today is day 14. So we're going to jump in because I want to end the video. These videos are intended to be super short, maybe 10 minutes or less. And today, and all of the days that we just discussed, like I said, we ended off talking about tools. And when we went through the tools, again, you can watch back for each day, but we basically gave you a few so that you can go and try those tools, including something called a focus wheel. All of this is just to get you kind of in the spirit, or at least getting closer to being in the spirit of expressing gratitude as a lifestyle. Not just a one-time thing, not just a one-time event, but just having an overall disposition of being grateful. And I promise you, it's life-changing. You feel better. And it's something that I just want you guys to experience. Do you want to hear a joke? I don't know, Jake. It depends on what the joke is. And then that means I'm going to have to read it and all of that good stuff. But we'll see. I'll look back in a second. But anyway, so for today, in terms of gratitude, I wanted to touch on something that I also think is very important. You are so sweet and beautiful. Thank you, Asud. I hope I'm saying your name right. And I wanted to talk about the idea of acceptance. Acceptance is important because sometimes things in life are not going to go as you predicted, planned, expected, etc. And I find that the quicker you can come to a place of accepting, not accepting a reality forever as if I can never change this, but the things that are like out of your control, the things that it's not just, you, where you're the only one that's able to make that decision and control the outcome. Those things, acceptance as quickly as possible. And the reason because if you can bring yourself to a place of acceptance and kind of like, find yourself into what is, being okay with what is, and maybe if you're not okay with what is, just at least, kind of like acknowledging that this is what is, then I think it allows you to quickly go elsewhere mentally in terms of solutions, how you're going to now show up in life, how you are going to address, the other person if it involves another person. Like all of these things allow for you to essentially move on. And so sometimes the reason we can't express gratitude is because we have stuck energy. We have stuck energy around something that happened, somebody that said something. I just came from, it's crazy out there. Don't go to the mall if you don't have to. It's the holidays right now. And so everybody is getting like their last minute stuff. And I had to run to the mall real quick. Horrible mistake because why? But I wasn't thinking. I had to run there. And it's crazy out there. So do you know how many people did what I just did? They went to the mall. They tried to get a parking spot, but somebody cut them off. They flipped them the bird. They had this whole exchange that only they can hear in their car because the other person can't hear you. And then they proceeded to get on the phone as they're driving home, talk about what happened, talk about the person who flipped them the bird and took the parking spot, get into the house, still on the phone with that same person. Like, do you understand how much energy is being exerted with respect to that situation? Alternatively, we can just accept that during the holidays, it can be a little crazy. People can be a little crazy. The mall traffic can be a little crazy. You may not get the parking spot that you want to get because somebody's got it first. Those are realities, things that happen. So acceptance is all about looking at a set of circumstances, a set of maybe even people, a person, a situation, and you see what it is today, and you just kind of, you put your hands up and you live with that for a minute. You just live with it. Like, all right. And you don't give energy to it. So it doesn't mean that you're not aware of it. It doesn't mean, we talked a little bit about this yesterday. It doesn't mean that if somebody did something to you that you're giving them a pass. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that you are going to put your hands up and not really give it any energy. And so I think that has been an amazing, I don't know if I want to call this a tool. I didn't think to call this part of the tool, elements that I described the last 3 days, but maybe it is a tool. But whatever it is, acceptance, I feel, is huge because it's for you. It allows you to quickly say, okay, you know what, this happened. And then you accept it, and then you can move on mentally to the next. I have something right this second that I was just talking about earlier today. And I feel like part of, in full transparency, why I've been able to grasp this concept of acceptance this year in particular is because I started meditating. If any of you are familiar with Joe Dispenza, hi, we have some people. Anna, love from India. Hi, India. Hi, Anna from India, I meant to say. Jake, if an orphan takes a photo, it's technically a family photo. Was that the joke? Love from Mumbai. Hi, Anna D. Martin. Hello. Thank you all for being here. We're talking, this is day 14 of 31 Days of Gratitude. Hi, Vicente, Segundo. And so we were just talking about acceptance. You're going to have to go back to the other 13 days because I already gave a recap. But I promise you, you'll enjoy the replay of each day if you go back and watch. But here on day 14, we're talking about acceptance. And if you could just bring yourself to a place where you accept sometimes what is, accept circumstances you may not like, accept situations, understand that this sometimes it's just momentarily. It doesn't mean forever, but it means right now, so-and-so doesn't want to be your friend anymore. Just accept it. Just accept it so that you can go and focus on something else. And either the person will, have a change of heart and you guys will have a conversation about it, or they won't. But either way, you won't be consumed with the reality of this person no longer wanting to be your friend, because to be consumed with it, that's not going to serve you. It's not going to change their mind. It's not going to do anything. So now bringing it all in, when we talk about gratitude, if you're constantly pissed or upset about something, it's going to be hard for you to get into the spirit of gratitude. That's just not realistic. More likely than not, you're going to feel not so great on a regular basis about what is. Whereas if you accept what is, you can now just find yourself in a neutral, maybe not peaceful, but in a neutral place about it. I'll take neutral every day of the week over some of these other feelings, because some of these other feelings, they feel icky. They feel, it feels like stuck energy. And you don't want any stuck energy because you want to always be moving forward. Where are you from? I'm in Jersey. Word of the day, accept. Yes, D. Martin, accept. Just accept. And so what ends up happening is you accept, right? Now, this doesn't mean, this isn't some magic, this isn't a magic conversation. Checking in, hope you are napping. No, not yet. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, I hear it. I just did that. It's not ready yet. But I'll be in there in a second. I'm in Brooklyn. I feel you though. Hey, Brooklyn. Showtime. Bend over. She's hot. Nolan, can you turn my light back on? All right. I came in here because my son is home today. Normally I record while he's in school. He's at home. It's loud out there. So he comes in here and he turns my lights out. But hopefully you can still see me a little bit because I do have the ring light. But anyway, acceptance. And what I was about to say, and then we'll jump because this video is becoming long. It's really a thing where you accept and you do it for you. I'm not making any promises, representations, or warranties about what's going to happen with you when you accept. I'm just saying that I do know for sure if you choose to accept, you can now move your energy somewhere else. And a lot of times that's what we need. Our energy needs to be somewhere else because our energy be stuck on all types of foolishness. And when it's on the foolishness, now you're unable to really get in the spirit of gratitude. And so again, that's what this was all about. It was all about I want to express gratitude as a lifestyle. But a lot of times people are unable to do that because there's just too much clutter on the brain, too much, turmoil, too much unresolved feelings, or too many unresolved issues with people. I mean, I guess if you want to live life that way, but if you can put yourself in a mindset of, let me try something new, this is what I'm proposing on day 14. The something new is acceptance. Just accept it. And I feel like what may happen is that person, they'll come around, you'll have a conversation. That situation, it'll work itself out. You'll still get what you need some kind of way, or something better, or again, something neutral. So it's not about, I don't like sometimes when people make claims like this and they try to, it's almost like gaslighting, because it's like, do this and then you'll get $1,000,000. And no, you might not get $1,000,000. You probably won't get $1,000,000. So this isn't about that. This is about you wanting to feel your optimal best. So that you can be more productive, so that you can go further in life, so that you can experience better thoughts, so that your thoughts can now result in better actions, so that those actions now produce better results. Like, it's a whole assembly line. I'm trying to tell you, everything, our whole world, like what we're putting out, what we're bringing in, it's this whole assembly line of cause and effect, right? So you want to cause certain things to happen by being intentional about it. And when you can cause a certain result by at the forefront saying, you know what, I'm going to accept X, Y, and Z happen to me in 2024. Well, shoot, now you can kind of like take that part of your brain that was dwelling on those things you didn't like about 2024, and you can go somewhere else emotionally, maybe even physically, but you can do something else with that information. So anyway, I'll look at these one more time. No, can you turn it on, please? Hello. Thanks. Hello, sister, like and subscribe. Thank you, Ashok. Ben. Okay, I'm not going to read that, Ben, but thanks, I think. I love your mind. Thank you. You're beyond beautiful. Thank you, Prayed Up. Carlos, I bet you would enjoy it. Movie shorts. Oh, I'm in the physics class, cause and effect. Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, I try to read the comments now. I don't know if you guys know, but YouTube, they used to, like, if I watch the replay, I would be able to see all of your comments. And now that's not the case. So if I don't look at these comments right this second, I'm never going to know what you said, because they no longer show when you watch the replay back. They don't show comments that were made during the actual live. So I do try to read. I'm still relatively new to going live. So I am going to investigate to find out if it's just me and if there's a feature that I don't have set properly. But I think it's everyone. I don't think you can any longer read comments that were, during the live while you watch the replay. So that's why I try to look now. D. Martin says, if you don't accept, you are subconsciously holding yourself back from greater. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And so it ends up being this whole, do you have adult kids? No, I don't. I have one little one. That's it. One little one. But you have to accept. You have to. You must. You must. And I always say, like, these are suggestions. So I'm using words like have to, must. You don't have to do anything. Go do what you want to do, boo, because I'm going to do what I want to do. But, because I never want to show up here self-righteous and like telling you what you need to do. You need to do what's good for you. But I'm suggesting that if you are interested in gratitude as a lifestyle, and there are benefits to just having a general disposition of being grateful and thankful for the things that you do have in life, for the things that are going well, for the situations you find yourself in. If you live in the United States of America, certain things here as it pertains to benefits from the government, and you may or may not receive any of these benefits, but I'm just saying there's something. If you are in another country, there's something. It's just oftentimes we don't see it, we can't find it, because we're consumed with other things happening. So That's what this challenge is all about. Are you a therapist? I'm not. Nope, I'm not a therapist. How do you accept trauma? That's a good point. I don't think, and I'm glad you asked that. I'm not a therapist, so I want to fully disclose that. I may need to put a note about that because this is like the second day somebody made a comment about therapy, which I guess it makes sense because the stuff I'm talking about is heavy. I'm not a therapist. I'm an attorney. I'm an attorney and I'm a content creator and a singer. Um, I practice business law. I work with business people. So that's my life. But down through the years from personal experience, I would go through things. And for a lot of years, I didn't know that I could choose my thoughts. I really didn't. I thought that thoughts were just these things that, like, are floating around and they're there. There's nothing I could do about it. So why bother to try? And then around, like, I would say 2011, 2012, one of the first books that I ever read about the mind was Battlefield of the Mind by a lady named Joyce Meyer. And that book was the first book that kind of raised my awareness to the fact that we are always thinking these thoughts. Some of the thoughts are just so negative and they kind of come from maybe years of experience in our childhood. So to the person that asked the question about trauma, the thoughts or the experiences, the feelings that you have may be coming from that place. But what happens is if we hang on to them, it just puts us in a position where we're not able to really move forward and get past whatever the trauma was. Now, because I'm not a licensed professional, I don't know if I have the answers right this second about, how do you accept trauma in the true sense of the word. I have advice on things that I have done. If you look at some of the videos from the past, today's day 14, but if you look at some of the videos for the past 13 days, we talked about, in the past few days, actually, we talked about some gratitude tools. And so some of those tools are perhaps able to bring you closer to acceptance, the idea of taking ownership of, not what happened to you and what the person did and saying it's my fault that they did it. Not that, but taking ownership of the feelings you may have around it, and committing to doing something about it. So sometimes acceptance for somebody who's been deeply traumatized means that your step one is to engage a licensed therapist, is to engage or have an appointment at least with a professional in that space. Because for you specifically, I don't feel like when people come on and they are therapists that it's ever like a one size fits all conversation. I think they're having general conversations, and then I think they're sending, one by one people to where they need to be. Some people need to be sitting one on one, with a licensed professional. Some people can do group therapy. I had a therapist, this was a few years back. I went through like a bout of depression and I didn't really understand why, because nothing happened. Like nothing, as far as I knew, nothing happened. But long story short, what I really believe happened was that I had become a mom in 2016. My son is 8 now, but I became a mom in 2016. And in the blink of an eye, life just changed because this was not a planned pregnancy. You feel me? So it was one of those things where I welcomed him into the world with open arms, but it's not like I sat and planned. Some people plan their families. That wasn't me. So he came, I rose to the occasion. I did what I had to do. I actually, went to live with my family for a little bit so I could have more support because his dad was not local. Just all of these things. I did it in the name of like, okay, this is what you have to do. But I think I got to a place where I was semi-traumatized because of how quickly my life changed and I was exhausted. So there also may have been some like delayed postpartum, or maybe it was just postpartum. You know what I mean? All of that combined, I didn't know. So my step one, I reached out to a mental health professional that I know personally because I was worried, because I told her I was just so lethargic and tired. And, it didn't matter how much sleep I had. I didn't want to get out of bed. Like it was really weird for me. And her first question was, have you had any suicidal thoughts? And I had not, I answer honestly, I hadn't had any suicidal thoughts, but I just felt really like everything was a chore. Like if he wasn't school aged at the time and if I didn't have to get up and get him ready for school, I would have easily seen myself just like in the bed for a very, very long time, because it was just difficult to get out. So sharing all of that just to say my step one was to actually engage. I went to the emergency room actually because I didn't know what was wrong with me. They wanted to like keep me and put me in the hospital, and I'm like, well, I can't do that. I have a kid I got to go home to. I don't want to do anything where I'm like inpatient. And so they asked like a series of questions, and by the time all of that was over, they felt like because I was able to engage and ask, or rather answer the questions, I would be safe, to go home. But they advised that I consult with a therapist, or a psychologist, as quickly as possible within like 7 days or something like that. So that was my first step. My first step was to go directly to somebody licensed. So to the person who asked that question, um, uh, thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Um, Face it head first. Don't run or else it will always be there. Yes. Yes, D. Martin. That's absolutely right. So basically, I was trying to find the name of the person who asked the question about how do you accept trauma, because I really wanted to. I don't even know if they're still on at this point, but yeah. So basically, I want to confess that I don't have like the answer because I'm not a therapist. I'm not licensed, or anything like that. This whole challenge is based on me, just being a person who has invited gratitude into my life on a regular basis and me wanting to share that and encourage you to do the same. And so I shared a little bit of my story about when I went through a bout of depression a few years back, because that was the closest thing I could think of to acceptance. So my version of acceptance then was, some people get embarrassed when they go through things, and so they try to fight it. So I could have tried to act like everything was fine and just left the house. I could have not reached out to my friend who's a mental health advocate and been like, oh, I'm good. Like, I just need a nap. But for me, acceptance meant like, okay, no, this is real. Something's wrong with you. It's not something you're used to experiencing, but you are experiencing it. You might need to talk to somebody. So acceptance for me was going to the ER. That was my version of acceptance. And then once I went to the ER, things just kind of from there kind of lined up the way they should. And so what I ended up doing, I worked with a therapist for several months. And I think it was just a lot that happened in a really short period of time, between being a mom, I was still an attorney, um, working for myself, like just a lot, a lot. My son's father and I, we were still trying to figure things out. So all of that can bring you to a place where you're experiencing what I now know they call situational depression. So anyway, I feel like I'm getting wordy, but thanks for being here, guys. Hopefully that explanation was somewhat helpful. Thank you, Reese the Beast. Thank you for being here. Hi, Dolu. We are well. Suraj, I just joined, but I just got to say, you've got a beautiful bed. Thank you. I'm normally out. It's the holiday season, so I'm normally in front of the Christmas tree and fireplace, whatever. But my son is home today. I normally do these lives when he's in school, but it's a Saturday, so he is not in school. And trust me, if I leave this room, it's going to be a bunch of noise that you guys just don't want to hear. So I'm like, let me just come in here. But hopefully that explanation was helpful. I'm going to get my, okay. But anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. This was like a really, really, really long one, but I kind of just kept going because someone asked that question about how do you accept trauma. So I hope I was able to answer it somewhat sufficiently, but I hope that, and I'm not a licensed therapist. Someone asked your profession. I'm an attorney. I practice law. I look at contracts, and I'm also a content creator. That's why I'm here on YouTube, and a singer and a performer. So I have a creative background. I have the ultimate left brain, right brain situation going on. Any given day, I'm either singing or doing something creative, or I'm practicing law, or I'm doing both, which is the case a lot of times. Um, you are a lawyer? Yes, I am. I am a lawyer. So, anyway, thank you guys for being here. Please come back. This is day 14. Tomorrow is day 15. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to be at another event. If you've tuned in before, you know on day 7, we were at a holiday event and we set up what was called the Gratitude Corner. And we had a bunch of little kids and other people come over to the corner and tell us what they're grateful for. I sang a few songs. And then the kids came up and sang some songs. It was really dope. So tomorrow, I'm going to be attending an event unofficially. So this is not a place where I'm going to set up the gratitude corner necessarily, but I was invited and told that perhaps I could, I don't know, do an interview or two with somebody. So we'll see. But tomorrow, the setting will be different. Yet again, I won't be at the Christmas tree. I won't be in the bed. I'll actually be at a holiday party. So depending on the setup there, we'll see how things go. But I'll take one last look at the comments and then I'm going to jump. So it's kind of weird though, but I could call you mommy. That would be weird. Marvin Rhodes, hi. Okay. All right. Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in. Tomorrow's day 15. We have, we're about at the halfway mark, which I'm really excited about. So if you are available each day around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 4 p.m. ish, come back, check us out, be with us. It's been great so far. It's been great so far just being in the spirit of talking about gratitude. I know I've enjoyed it. Hopefully, each day the people that have come on, they've enjoyed it as well. And normally the videos are roughly maybe between 12 and 15 minutes. Today we went a little long just because there's a bit more chatter, which I appreciate. Whether the chatter is relevant or not, I am grateful, to have people tuning in. So thank you guys. I got to jump. I have a date tonight, so I need to take a quick nap and get ready and feed my child before I go. But anyway, thank you for being here. I wish you lots of fun, laughter, abundance in your life. Peace.